I think we have to have a realization that in some ways there was a generation of shop owners, right? And I'm not trying to pick on Dutch, but it seems like growing up, and maybe it was just our town, there's a group of older shop owners, right? And that group of older shop owners never saw themselves as a commodity. They were a service.
Mm-hmm.
And they understood what value proposition they brought to the table. And it seems like in some ways they have perceived this switch as a change to a commodity, right? And they're, in a lot of ways, I think some of the older shop owners are offended by what's happened to the market. Now,
yeah,
I don't think any of us are dummies. We all recognize the market's going to do what the market's going to do, and if there's an empty spot in it, somebody's a dummy if they don't have the opportunity to fill it.
Yep.
Right? If FCP Euro didn't come in and fill this spot where there was DIY guys who wanted to buy parts for their European cars, somebody else would, right? So I think it's very important to recognize the market's going to move where the market moves, and what we do with it and how we manage our businesses around that is going to cause the result we get, right?
Yeah.
But in the same respect, I also think that we've trained consumers in such a way that they do think it's a commodity. And maybe that's part of the problem. The other thing that as I'm hearing you guys talk about this, I'm thinking back to one of our, was it the credit card episode, David, with Rick, where he said, you're asking a $5 question instead of a $35,000 question.
I tell them they're asking a $3 question instead of a $30,000 question. No matter how much you play with expenses, you're only going to get so much back. You're asking the wrong questions. For me, it's about sales and gross profit, right?
Duh. Right? But sometimes as shop owners, we get really focused on that 1 or 2% as opposed to the big picture. And so I don't know that it's so much that we've been transferred to a commodity. I think consumer perspective or perception of us has changed somewhat into a commodity. But in the same respect, I think we've allowed that to happen to ourselves, and we've really focused ourselves solely on what we pay for something.
I think the customers that think of us as a commodity is such a small percentage.
Yeah.
How often do you have I was telling this to somebody earlier today. Within a mile of me, there's probably 30 shops. There's so many around me. And yeah, you'll have the guy that just starts at one end and starts going from shop to shop to shop looking for the cheapest price. And they walk in, and some of these shops will oblige that guy with a price. I've got I think a 1 or 2 star review on Google for a guy that walked in and wanted a price on a timing belt job. Well, he was an existing customer. We had the VIN in there. It's the only reason why we obliged. And, we had just done the exact same vehicle like the week before. So my service advisor pulls it up and says, boom, here's the price. The guy was floored, and he got so upset at the price we gave him. He went online and left me a bad review saying the dealer down the street was going to do it for half. And I said, dude, what the dealer was quoting you and what I quoted you are two different things. They were doing just X, Y, and I was doing X, Y, Z plus ABC. Not even close to the same thing. He didn't seem to agree, but whatever. You'll always have that person that is just looking for the cheapest price. But it's such a small percentage. Some people just want their cars fixed. And the enthusiast, I'm sorry, they are the worst customers in the whole wide world. I'm glad. Glad that you guys take care of those enthusiasts. But I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's an episode of Parks and Recreation where Ron Swanson's walking through the hardware store.
Hi there. Is there a project you're working on?
I know more than you.
All right.
That's the enthusiast to me. I know more than you. And that's it. It's like, hold on now.
That's an extreme example. But let me
say that. But here's the thing: like, I used to run in the enthusiast circles back in the day, and let me tell you, and I get it. These guys are passionate about their vehicles.
Yeah.
But what they do and what the professional shop does so far from apart from each other, it's ridiculous. It's like, great, you're really good at working on your car.
Yeah.
You can't do what you do to your car to 5 to 6 vehicles a day, every single day, with precision, minimal comebacks.
Yeah.
And it's not even close to the same thing. the pace, the knowledge, the nuance. You don't know what it feels like about to break a bolt.
Yeah.
You don't know what it looks like. Hey, this is the wrong size socket just by feel. You don't know what it's like. I've got to make sure this gasket channel is absolutely clean. You don't know what clean actually looks like. It looks clean to you. It's not really that clean. Guess what? That sucker's going to leak. Yeah. And it is because it's a BMW and that's what they do.
They expect perfection, right? Let's be real. Yeah. They are very picky, and they're picky about the weirdest things. And I'm not saying anything bad, right? Like, I was an enthusiast one time. I loved diesel trucks. It was the greatest thing in the world until I realized I was poor. But I mean,
you can make money working on diesel enthusiast trucks. A terrible business to be in.
That's what part of the reason I was super excited to have Nathan come on and talk, because I know he didn't really expand on this, but NGP, where he spent a lot of his years I'm not going to say exclusively, but they catered to the enthusiasts. They did a lot of performance. Nathan, you'll describe it better, but they really went after and leaned hard into the enthusiast vehicle owner market as a professional installer. And they welcomed them. David, to your point, they welcomed those people that had.
I don't have that kind of personality. I'm just.
Is that how you would say it?
You're a saint. I'm just.